Hey guys, Adrian here for the DojoCast. This is episode 26 of the DojoCast. iPhone 5 in September. Who knows? All right, guys, I am here with my good friend Josh, and we were supposed to have Duncan on, but if he happens to log on, his internet went down. But if he happens to get back on, we will add him to the call, and he'll just kind of jump in the middle. We're trying out a new angle, so obviously you can see my monitors now. We're going to be trying some new, stuff with the podcast. But anyhow, how are you, Josh?
I'm good.
Nice, nice. And we're going to be alternating stories today. So Josh picked out, I think you picked out 2 or 3 stories in here, right, Josh?
Yeah.
All right. So, I forgot to tell you, you have your pick, right, for the week. I forgot to give you a forewarning about the week. All right. So with that, let's jump right into the news. And the first story that caught my eye when I was looking for some articles today was Adobe. They're diving into into HTML with a new Edge software. So basically, this is their latest software to come out soon. They're taking a dive into HTML5 to be exact. It says here that Adobe Systems has dipped its toes into the HTML5 pool, but starting today, it's taking the plunge with a public preview release of the software called Edge. So basically, Edge is going to be a software that will allow you to make websites more dynamic. And they said here with the standards of Flash and stuff like that, it runs sluggish on mobile phones like iPhones, iPads, etc. And they're trying to address that with HTML5. So basically, HTML5 with this Edge software is going to allow you, like I said, to make your websites. It says here animation effects to web pages with CSS controlled by JavaScript, and then give you an example like when a person loads a page or web design with Edge text and graphics, elementally gradually slide into view. So basically, just all flashy type of content. So I don't know if you saw this, Josh. Is this going to be like a kind of not like iWeb, but in a sense, is it?
Yeah.
What type of application
like
is it? Is it like iWeb?
Yeah, kind of like a more advanced WYSIWYG type editor, kind of.
WYSIWYG editor? It looks a lot like Mac software though, like in preview. I think it is. Is that? It looks like it's on the Mac there.
Yeah. Within the picture in the article, but Adobe had something a while back called Contribute, which was kind of.
That was in their CSS.
This looks like just a major update to that, almost. Kind of a little bit more advanced version of Contribute.
Yeah, I never used Contribute, but I'm sure. Did it do the same thing? Was it basically a WYSIWYG editor?
Contribute was kind of like just a really simple to use interface on top of kind of an FT, like Dreamweaver, kind of. Like you couldn't edit code, you could just change out the text and stuff like that.
I see. So basically, they're going to be supporting a lot of stuff for HTML5 and more dynamic web, just make it more of a fluid design. Whether or not this is, again, it's in beta, it's going to be previewing soon. Some items they have on their to-do list is to make more shapes other than rectangles and rounded corner rectangles. Actions are triggered by events, support for Canvas and HTML5 standard for 2D drawing surfaces, and a lot of other features that they plan to implement. So, like Josh said, it's more of a beefed up version of Contribute. It's going to be coming out soon. It's, again, all pushing HTML5, which you see a lot of companies doing nowadays. So you can check it out. It is called Edge, and it's coming from Adobe, but I believe they're also cooperating with some other companies like Opera, Mozilla, Apple, Google, and eventually even Microsoft began to advance with these. They're all consorting on the web standards. But yeah, so with that, that is this story of the week. You guys can check it out. We're gonna leave I'll put pictures up right here in the podcast so you guys can see a little preview they gave of the app. Looks very Mac-like because I think this is running on OS 10. But with that, guys, Josh, go ahead and take on the next story.
The next story is iPhone 5 to launch in early September, reports say. A report from China Times says Apple plans to produce 4 million units of the device following a production run of 400,000 test units. That's to release the device in the second week of September. So we still don't know yet if it's going to be called iPhone 5, iPhone 4S. I personally think it'll probably be called the iPhone 5. But
yeah, just because
it just seems to be rumored that September is the release date.
Yeah, and then I saw another article that said September, October, time frame. But obviously, every year a new iPhone always comes out.
Yeah, but it's also always been in like July though.
Yeah, July. Yeah, around this period that we're in right now. And iPhone 5 is. I'm thinking it's gonna be iPhone 5 because if you think of it, 3G and 3GS were relatively the same except for the speed issue.
Yeah.
But iPhone 5, it just makes more sense because they had leaked screenshots of what they thought was a guy on a train. I don't know if you saw it. There's a guy on a train with an iPhone that was in a case and it looked really much more slimmer. But we'll put that picture up. It's really blurry. These things are you can you can never believe everything. So it's just a rumor. They say some new things we're gonna be seeing. Obviously, iOS 5 will be packed into it. Um, Maybe I'm hoping a camera update because you can add either higher megapixel or whatever it may be. And obviously just a thinner form factor. But what else? What do you personally? What else do you think is the most one feature you want in iPhone 5, Josh?
I think some of the things that I've been hearing from a ton of places that seem to be almost not positives but near positives are a larger screen, maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think was it
Nice
4-inch screen? Is that what?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
that's
4
kind of
inch.
what the rumor is. And
Mhm.
8 megapixel camera, I think, is also.
Yeah, big rumor for the
So I
camera.
think those will be the two major things. I'm sure it'll be faster, have the A5 or whatever they want to call it.
A5
Yeah.
processor, and the RAM and stuff like that. I'm hoping, yeah, because right now, obviously, my iPhone, the whole story, my iPhone's acting up and now the battery's crazy. So I'm holding out for that iPhone 5 in September. I'm hoping that's the time frame.
Also, I
See?
don't think it'll have 4G.
You don't? Yeah, that's what a lot of people were wondering if it's going to be 4G. What do you call that? What do you think it's just going to stay 3G? You don't think they're going to upgrade?
Yeah, I mean, when the first iPhone came out, 3G was available then.
Yeah, but they just kept it with
Yeah,
Edge,
they
right?
said they would rather stick with something that is more universal.
That viable.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
4G is still kind of being worked out anyway. It seems
True,
like.
true. It's not, and it's not even all around, right? Like it's in a lot of areas, but
Yeah.
nothing worldwide. But definitely a big rumor. I'm hoping honestly that we can see that because right now my iPhone 4 is acting up. I don't want to buy a new unit just because of this rumor particularly. I'm just gonna hang out with this for tough it out with this iPhone, even though it's acting up right now. But definitely I want to see a bigger screen would be nice. Maybe a little bit more durable if it's gonna be thinner. At least make it the material. I mean the iPhone is pretty durable, especially obviously if you have a case on like this one. But I don't know. It's usually we see Apple simplifying their design. And it's probably obviously like Josh said, it's gonna have a new A5. It's gonna be faster. It's gonna be thinner. But really, I don't know what more of a physical feature they can add to it. Because like if you think of an 8 megapixel camera, I don't know because here I'm not sure about the phones in the States, but like a couple years ago, the Japanese phones, like the simple ones, had 8 megapixels. I'm sure a lot of phones there, right, Josh, have like 8 megapixel cameras.
Yeah, but also
Like not even.
some of it is you
Uh-huh.
can jam megapixels into a camera, but it doesn't mean the quality's good.
Yeah, true. You want to build
Because
it.
I remember, I think
Uh,
Steve Jobs even said this with the last camera update. Is that he said it's like 5 megapixels? Is that what it is now?
Yeah,
I think
5.
he said
Yeah.
like we could push it higher, but we don't want to like inflate our specs. We'd rather have a good
Yeah.
looking photo.
True, true, true. So I'm sure they'll find the balance. If they can get it up 3 more megapixels, I'm sure that'll be nice, and they'll probably add. Obviously, iOS 5 will be out with it, so a lot more features software wise. But definitely something to look forward to. iPhone 5 in September. I'm really hoping, September October timeframe because I'm really looking to switch out my iPhone 4 right about now. All right. So with that, let's move into some social media news. Twitter has started injecting paid tweets into the stream. So I mean, I wish we had Duncan on because me and Duncan were actually talking about this before when we first saw this. So yeah, I'm sure Josh, you know everything like on Twitter how they're making money now. They're using promotion ads, and
Yeah.
promotion tweets. But it seems a lot of stuff now is going promoted. So if you look at it, there's a really nice screenshot I'm gonna put up here in the podcast. But who to follow now on Twitter. You get obviously your people like that you may know or like you're interested in are followed by people that you follow. But they even have this thing at the top now that's like promoted. So it'll be like Levi's, follow them because they'll be at the top because they're promoted. They're paying to be promoted. Even on trends now, they have promoted trends. So a while back there was a hashtag status and that was promoted to the top. So not so much that they are in a way filtering out all the stuff that should be at the top originally like whatever whoever you may want to be following or whatever the real top trend is, but they only put one promoted, they don't load it with promoted tweets or promoted who to follow and promoted trends. But now they're even doing it in the Twitter stream. So in your Twitter stream you'll get your regular tweets from your followers and stuff like that, but then you'll get something from like JetBlue that will give you a link to their site and give you a promotion. And then under the part where it'd say like tweeted or from mobile or whatever, it would just say promoted by JetBlue, and you get this little orange icon. I don't know. What do you think? So I understand the who to follow. I can see that, but I think when you put it into your stream, you're kind of messing up the flow of Twitter. You know what I mean?
I actually don't
in a way.
mind because, like
Mhm.
the way they're doing it, they only do it if you follow that brand. So
Oh, is that how
yeah,
it
it
is?
says Twitter says users will only see the tweets once, and if they're following that brand or organization. So you'd have to be
Okay,
following that company anyway to see the ad.
okay. Then I can respect that, I guess. Yeah, if it's following, I thought they were just gonna be implementing promoted things.
Yeah.
But what about the who to follow and the trends? Do you know if that's how does that work? Is that just promoted
Um.
whoever pays?
Yeah, that's just promoted to whoever pays, and I that
Mhm.
doesn't really bug me as much. Trends. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
trends aren't anything
important.
important. The only time I really ever look at trends is just to see if there's something big going on,
News.
or
Yeah,
just
yeah, like
when
a
I'm
news
bored.
or.
And
Mhm.
I mean, it tells you they're promoted too. It's not like it has a big arrow and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
It's not like they're trying to hide it.
yeah, definitely.
I'm also I
So
bet a Grease Monkey script will be out soon to hide all those if there's not
to take them all
already one
away,
out.
yeah. Yeah, and they do need to make money. With obviously, I think last April they made a non-traditional or like a non-traditional advertising program, but I'm sure that didn't work out too well. But or giving like it gave brands a way to pay for tweets to show up in services like based on key results. So like if you searched up airplane, you would get like JetBlue or like ANA. You know, like you would get certain airlines within the Twitter
Yeah,
feed.
I've seen some.
Um,
I've seen some promoted tweets in search. Do you use Twitter search much?
mm, No, I actually don't. Only when there's like if a celebrity, is like passed or something like that. It's the only time I look it
Yeah,
up.
if you search something kind of normal. I mean, if you
Hmm.
search something really obscure, there's not going to be a related
Yeah,
tweet, but probably something like airplanes or flight, you get like
yeah.
promoted tweet by JetBlue at the top.
Dang. All right. So yeah, I mean, I guess I can't argue because they're trying to monetize. They gotta do whatever. They gotta do what they have to do to make the money. I guess so. I'll leave a picture. Leave your thoughts, guys. Love to see what you guys think about the promoted tweets. I know Duncan. I wish, like I said, I wish he was on because Duncan. You have those people who hate advertising, and Duncan's surely one of those guys who hates promoted not like everything, but he hates those promoted stuff, and he hates obviously. It's funny when we go on Ustream because
Oh yeah,
he always seems to get those
I
pre-roll ads
always
when
get those
I
on
never get.
Ustream. I hate those.
Yeah, Duncan gets them all the time, so it's pretty funny. But anyways, hopefully we can have him on the show later on. But with that, Josh, let's go into our next story.
The next one's from Mac Rumors: external Thunderbolt PCI expansion chassis and hub in development. This kind of sounds like a mouthful, but
Yeah,
Millerstronic has started on a Thunderbolt version of its VDOC PCI expansion chassis to allow laptop owners to use PCI Express graphics cards on their computers. So I just thought this was really interesting that we're starting to see kind of external hardware be used
so,
with
yeah,
Thunderbolt.
and this diagram is so. Oh, I think it's only Thunderbolt because Thunderbolt's so powerful now, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's.
it's
I didn't realize how universal because this was originally called Lightpeak, if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken, right? By
We
Intel.
even I remember a podcast was named after it.
Yeah, we even did a whole episode on Lightpeak, and I remember this technology was like something that's supposed to be so universal, and then Apple got a hold of it. I think they purchased it right from Intel or whatever, or made a deal. But at first it was just a port when it came out that was supported your display, but now you can do like they have an adapter for from one MacBook Pro. It goes into dual monitors. Like not you can actually hook up two 30-inch displays via that one cord in the MacBook Pro, if I'm not mistaken.
One
So I mean, it's definitely something. That's
one thing that's
Is that what
nice
you're saying?
about it was it's so quick, the 10 gigabits per second, and also that you can daisy chain like with FireWire. So if you have an external hard drive or two external hard drives, you could plug from your MacBook Pro into one hard drive and then one hard drive into the other hard drive. So just use one cord and have two hard drives plugged in.
Nice, very nice. And now, like you said, this is just awesome because I wish you could have these on PCs also because now if you see the diagram, we'll put this picture up in the show notes or the podcast right here. But basically, they have the laptop going into the VDOC or VDOC, and from the VDOC it goes into two monitors. Or I guess you can put like a graphics card in the VDOC, right? Like you said.
Yeah.
So like if your MacBook Pro doesn't have the best graphics, if it has onboard or anything like that, you can hook up a really good card and then put that into two monitors, and then from the VDOC you can even go from you can have the monitors hooked up, and then you can even have a hub hooked up for your USB devices like your mouse, keyboard, printer, iPod, webcam, and they have up to 5 USB devices. So you get a hub with 5 USB devices being able to be plugged into the D-dock, plus a graphics card into your monitor. So I mean, you get a lot of power coming up the Thunderbolt port. And there's only one of these ports on the whole laptop, right? Not even multiple.
Yeah,
of these.
that's how the daisy chaining kind of works. So you can put all of them on the one thing.
Yeah, very nice.
And I'm pretty sure there's some PCs out there with Thunderbolt ports on them. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really? They have PCs with
Yeah, it's not Apple exclusive.
Oh, really?
I'm almost positive it's not, but
let me check. Thunderbolt PC. See, okay, my Google's in Japanese right now, so okay.
See, Sony Bio Hybrid PC to feature Intel Thunderbolt port.
Okay, so maybe it's just something that they got licensed like exclusive. See, they got the exclusive.
Yeah, I think they bought the name. I think.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking. Because it says right here the article Thunderbolt exclusive to Apple until 2012.
Maybe that's what it is. But I remember hearing it's not going to be exclusively Apple because that would kind of cut down on the number of devices, external hard drives and stuff. But this will be really nice because I've even read like the standard is faster.
Sorry, go ahead.
The standard is faster than like SSDs and stuff. So like to get the full potential out of the Thunderbolt port, you'd have to RAID SSDs together. So that could be, just some awesome stuff could happen with that kind of speed.
Yeah, speed would be crazy because I already have one SSD in my MacBook right now. I apologize for the planes flying overhead. But anyways, this looks really, really cool. I think it's just awesome that you can, because there's always been that problem with laptops where, onboard really sucks.
Yeah.
And like if you always wanted a better card, you're kind of just, stuck with what you have. And then now you have the opportunity to plug in the this little chassis right here that will, and the prototype picture, it's obviously not that great. Just the graphics card's kind of just hanging out there.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it'll come with a better chassis.
And you could even share it, kind of like, normally if you had an awesome graphics card, you just have to leave it in your machine. But like you and a friend could game or something, and use it on multiple machines and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, because with the desktop you have to take it out and put it back in. It's a hassle. You have to open the case and everything. But this makes everything so much easier.
Yeah.
And with that, let's go into our last story of the day, and that is iPad for Skype. And I think if you look in the Google Docs, you can still see. I think is that Duncan's cursor? Oh no, is that mine?
I think it's mine.
Never mind, it's mine. I thought it was mine. I thought I was saying Duncan's because there's a green one. But anyways, iPad just today. iPad got. Let me reach for my iPad here. Got the latest edition of Skype. I actually haven't downloaded it yet. I have the iPhone edition, but I guess reason being because I don't have the iPad 2, so I don't have the camera. But I guess it'd be kind of weird to use this. I don't know. I think I'd feel weird using it as a Skype device, if I didn't have a camera, for audio calls.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a big form factor, you have to hold.
Yeah, it's kind of like using it as a camera too, to take.
Yeah.
It's just not the right form factor.
Yeah, but people do it, So I guess I can kind of see it more as when you're doing video conferencing with somebody, just because the reason you're kind of holding it in your hands, and it feels really that I guess in that sense. It just feels more personal when you're talking to somebody, kind of like how FaceTime.
Like if you're in the living room or something. Yeah, I think it'd just be a lot like FaceTime.
Yeah, just that FaceTime sort of feeling. Yeah, and they actually have a new video out. I think maybe we can roll a little bit of this in the when we play the podcast. But I'm actually watching it right here on the monitor. I think you guys can kind of see that.
Did you see on the Engadget story that you put in the doc? It's been pulled from the App Store.
It's been pulled?
Yeah.
Already?
It says it suddenly appeared that now it's been yanked from the iTunes stores everywhere. A tweet from the official account says it went live prematurely. So Skype is saying they released it too early.
Okay, see, I was going to say, was this because of Apple releasing this? Or
so maybe
at least they pulled...
Maybe they wanted to have a press release and stuff to build up some hype.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then it came, and then it just got early. I don't know how you would leak it that early, but
I guess Apple approved it quicker than they thought.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of people, what do you call that, already have it downloaded, and now they can't do anything because of those people. If you're lucky enough to be one of those people who got it exclusively, But yeah, like I said, it's a native. It's finally appeared on the Apple slate for voice and video, chatting with others on Mac or PCs or even TVs if they have, like a Cisco TV or whatever they are. Um, it's not listed as an existing update to the existing iOS app, but you can find it in separate on the US iTunes. Obviously, you can't now, but it will. I'm sure it'll appear soon. Just like Skype for iPhone, it works over 3G and/or Wi-Fi. So if you have an iPad with Wi-Fi or 3G, it'll work. Obviously, the difference is the ability to instant message during the video call. So you can type during the video calls rather than just having the video call up. You can chat at the same time, so you can kind of multitask there. Looks pretty nice though. I have to say the app looks pretty nice on it. Do you see the screenshots, Josh?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I like how the chat is overlaid and stuff.
Yeah, it looks really, really fluid. It looks like an iPad interface for sure. So I mean, it's much better interface. But again, I don't use Skype too much on my iPad. I have it there just in case I need it. Like right now when my phone's not working, so it helps out. And I'll be definitely downloading this. We'll take a look at this on the YouTube channel over at youtube.com/digitaldojos once it comes out. So with that, Josh, I think those are all our stories. It wasn't too much of a busy news week, was it?
No.
Nothing
not much. All that.
Yeah, but I don't know. Before we get into the picks, what have you been up to, man? Have you been working on anything, websites or anything like that?
Nope, nothing.
Not much. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I haven't been what do you call that? I haven't been active on the internet as much lately because I've just been busy with all of this schoolwork and all that. But definitely, guys, I do want to apologize because over summer I didn't get too into the podcast as I should have, as I wanted to actually. And I always say I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get on a schedule. But I don't know. I think to get to a schedule, you really just more than saying it, you actually have to. You obviously just do it. You gotta stick to it. And I think once you do a couple times, you'll get over the initial what do you call it, laziness, I guess, and just start getting on schedule. But like I said, I'm gonna try and resume schedule with the DojoCast. Usually we record this one, Josh, every Sun. Do you usually do it Sunday, Monday for you? I forget.
Saturday night for me. Late.
Saturday night for you, Sunday for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, I want to adjust times because now I have Duncan. I'm obviously talking to Duncan a lot, talking to you, and then we want to make a time where it's kind of universal for us to what do you call that? So you're not staying up late. I'm not staying up late. It works out. But with that, I think we'll go into our picks real quick. And my pick of the week is a free one, and I actually need to find out where I found this on howtogeek.com, so I'm gonna head over there right now. But it's called Dual Monitor, and basically it's an open source app, I believe. Yeah, so it's an open source app that does what it's called Dual Monitor Taskbar. It's a taskbar extender. It does what Ultramon does. It does what Display Fusion Pro does for free. And this is something I've been looking for because Ultramon does it, but obviously Ultramon's like what? I think I used to pay like $49 for it or something, or it's kind of expensive. Don't quote me on the price, but basically it adds a functional taskbar to your secondary Windows 7 monitor with complete area peak, so you can hover over the icons. If you guys are watching the video here, you can see this lower monitor right here. I think you guys can see the little windows popping up there. Along with that, there's several extra features that come into it. You can add like a system clock, application pinning, all the stuff you can do on a regular taskbar. Really, really nice. You can even do, I can right click here and go to properties to read you guys off some stuff. You can show labels, use small icons like you would in the regular one. There's a Windows manager. Really nice because if you minimize Windows on this side of, so you can see I have dual monitors. If I minimize Windows on here, it minimizes to this taskbar rather than that one. I don't have to go back. It just saves time in between, even though, it's a couple, not too, far away. But it's productivity-wise, it's a great app. Check it out if you use any sort of dual monitor, triple monitor setup. Very, very cool. But yeah, that's my pick. I'm gonna leave a download to this again. It's open source. It's a taskbar extender for Windows 7. Again, quote from Windows 7. With that, Josh, you can go ahead along with your pick.
My pick is an app I saw on Lifehacker this week. It's actually called Tunnel Bear. Tunnel Bear is a easy, fast, free access to global content. So basically, it is a VPN that you can do to secure your connection, and you can also choose if you want to go through the US or the UK. So
it kind of works as a proxy.
Yeah. So it's available for Mac and PC, and it's free. And so if you log in, when you connect, you can see you have on and off. You just turn on the VPN, and you can choose if you want to be in the US or UK. So before Spotify was in the US, you could use this to connect to Spotify. or
Oh, nice.
maybe now I could use it.
So I can use this because I'm overseas.
Yeah, or
So I can use
there's
this
a
like turntable.
I could maybe watch like the BBC iPlayer.
What'd you say there?
The BBC iPlayer. It's like a
Josh?
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, your audio cut out there.
Can you not hear me? Shit. Can you hear me? I
Yeah,
turned it
okay.
on and then it routed all my traffic through the VPN. I didn't think about that. So it like disconnected me and reconnected me. All right.
Okay.
So
we're back.
my recording is still going, but I'll just pick it up from the
Right.
BBC iPlayer.
Okay, go ahead. No
I
problem.
don't know what I was gonna say. So like I could watch the BBC iPlayer from the UK. The free account, there is a paid account and a free account. The free account gives you 500 megs a month, and there's actually a tweet you can send, like at Tunnel Bear, give me 1 gigabyte of free data now, and a link,
Nice.
and they'll increase it to 1 gig of data. And I think
Very nice.
if you get unlimited data for like $5 a month, it's a really good price.
Really cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this would be really good if you wanted to try basically going through UK or US, or if you travel a lot and wanted a secure VPN option. That's really easy.
So could I use like Netflix if I was over here?
Yeah. You would.
Oh, dude, I need to
You
try
definitely
that.
need a paid account though. I mean, because that 500 megs.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Oh yeah, 5 gigs. You said 5 gigs or unlimited $5 for unlimited.
Yeah, I believe that's it. I can't. I don't see it anywhere. Oh, here we go. Pricing.
I'm definitely sold if that's the case.
Pricing.
I want to try
$4.99 a month gives you unlimited data.
Awesome. And then hey, I'll be signing up right after this podcast. Then sounds like a good deal. All right, we'll have to try it out. I'll give it a trial. But yeah, so where can they get this at? Is it tunnelbear.com?
Yep, tunnelbear.com. There'll be a link in the description.
Right. Yep. So with that, guys, that concludes the show. Stay tuned. I have a lot of stuff planned. Like I said, I'll be doing some YouTube videos again. YouTube.com/digitaldojos. I did a survey with Mobile Phone 2003 or Duncan, as you guys know him. You guys can check that out. We also did some top 5 blog tips. But yeah, I think that's about all. Josh, how's the MacBook Pro going for you so far? I think we mentioned that a podcast ago.
Going good. Everything's fine. I'm thinking I might get more RAM again sometime soon.
What are you on right now?
I have 6. I'm thinking about
6.
Replace. I have a 2 gig and a 4 gig stick, and I might replace.
What is it up to? 8?
You can go up to 16 actually.
Oh my god!
But an 8 gig laptop RAM stick is pretty expensive.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So I can get 2 more gigs for like $30.
Very nice. Very
nice. It's Minecraft. God, that takes up
RAM
like crazy.
Of course. All right, so yeah, stay tuned for that. Hopefully, Josh, we can get to see a review from you in the future on the MacBook Pro. Your thoughts. But with that, I also have this new JVC Vario that we'll be reviewing very soon on the dojos. So head over again, youtube.com/digitaldojos. With that, guys, don't forget to check out our main site where all our content can be found at digitaldojos.com. I want to thank Josh again for joining me for the podcast. And with that, guys, we will catch you all next week.